Got the Unk build for the Unk himself. Speaking of, I'm getting old. I'm genuinely getting old, and I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I won't lie to you, chat. I've been down bad the last couple months. Alright, the friend group is down disastrously. Really since April, I have sort of just felt, I guess I've felt empty. I don't really know what I want to do. Or who I want to be. You know, I feel like my whole life I've never really felt like I fit in anywhere. Like I'm a transient friend or experience, you know? Like there's been experiences or friend groups in my life that I've been part of, but I guess I've never felt important enough for those people to really keep me around. It just sucks getting older, and I feel like I'm supposed to have it figured out, and I have no idea what I'm doing. And I have no idea what I really want to do either. I've done well enough in life. I think a lot of people can relate to this. My achievements just, it doesn't feel like I'm ever doing enough, or that I've ever done enough. Like, I'll say, like, oh yeah, I make YouTube videos. And I do. I love making content. It's so fun to just build a community and interact with all these different people. It just never feels good enough. Like, I could get 100,000 views and feel relatively nothing. Like, well, what's next? How do I get 200,000 views? How do I get 100 views on the next, or 100,000 views on the next one? How do I match the subs? How do I reproduce this? You know, how do I catch lightning in a bottle? It just sucks. It really does suck. When a lot of the things that I used to enjoy, I don't really enjoy anymore. I've sort of fallen into this routine where, I swear to God, I'm bipolar. I'll feel pretty good about myself when I'm busy. And then when things slow down and I have a moment, I feel so miserable. Especially when it's looking at my other friends or my peers and they're off living these incredible lives, or they're getting married. Some of them have kids. And here I am playing a Roblox game, dude. It sucks. It really does suck. Especially when I see the kids in the marriage, because I desperately want somebody to build a life with. And it just feels like there's no one out there for me. Like, every woman I've fallen in love with, I think I was the one that loved them more. You know, it always came down to they had to make a decision. Whether it was their own life, or, Jesus, sometimes between their own life, or between another guy, and I never seem to be the thing that they pick. It sucks, man. When I feel like no one understands me. Like I'm, I don't know. Like, I'm just so weird that there's no one out there that would really love me for me. They only like the way I make them feel. Or the way I love them. Like, it's a game to them. That, oh, well, Dan does this, Dan does that, Dan is so great. He does all these things that my other partner, the person they really want, didn't do. And then I'm just here, so it's like, well, what about me? You know? I'm doing all these things because I love you, and you're constantly comparing it to someone else. I'm just... You love the way I love you, but it would never work because the way I love you is the way you wanted them to love you, if that makes sense. And it is soul crushing. And I keep trying to just pick myself up and keep that fire alive, and it is increasingly getting harder and harder to just pick myself up and keep moving when I don't even know what I'm moving towards anymore. What am I fighting for? What am I continuing to get back up in the morning to do? It's some real doomer shit, man. Some real unk problems. But I'm sure a lot of you guys can sort of relate to that. Where you don't know what you're getting up for in the morning. you don't know what you're fighting for or working towards. You just do it because, well, what else are you gonna do, you know? You stay alive because you have to, not entirely because you want to. And that's not to say I don't have things going for me. I think that's the worst part. I'm fairly well educated. I have a really good job. I have good friends. And there's still this hole in me. Like, I feel like I was thrown into a life I was never meant to live. Like, I was supposed to be someone entirely different. Somebody entirely new. But somewhere along the line, I picked the wrong path, and now it's too late. I guess I'm perpetually searching for meaning in my own life. And the more I succeed by society's standards, the less I feel I've truly achieved. It freaks me out, man. It scares me. That no matter what, maybe I do get the wife and kids and the great job and live in the dream city. And it scares me to think that, what if it's just never enough? That I'm just this insatiable need to be more than who I am. And that's, building on what I was saying, that feeling is impossible when I don't even know who I am. Also, dub clutch. I don't even know who I am. Or 21! I'm a Deepwoken player. Nah, but... And you have all these people around you who are like, oh, you have so much potential, you're doing so great. You don't have to have it figured out. You're young, you have so much time. But I don't feel young. I don't feel like I have time. Because the longer I live like this, the more entrenched in it I become, the worse I feel. And it becomes harder and harder to get back out there when I do feel motivated, or I feel disciplined, and I work so hard. I'm going to the gym, I'm eating right, I'm doing all these things. I'm working so hard to build this great life. And when I get close to achieving it, I'm so mentally burnt out and exhausted by all of the effort I've been putting in that I can't maintain it, and I sink back into those old bad habits. And then I feel miserable for a while. You know, I'm in my room, feeling shitty, thinking about how I feel shitty. And then the process repeats itself, where I work real hard to get out there and be happy with my life. And by the time I get close to whatever that might be, I'm so exhausted by the effort it took every single day that I withdraw again. It's tough. Life is tough. Sometimes it takes a great amount of courage. It is an act of courage just to stay alive. And that's what I've been telling myself. That I just have to... As long as I keep going, I haven't lost. Because I've had a pretty rough life. I've had a very unfair life. And nothing has ever really seemed to just go my way. But by continuing to try, that's how I say fuck you to the world. You're not going to make me a mean. You're not going to make me an asshole. You're not going to tear me down. I'm not going to give up. Although I very much want to. That's how I fight back. By staying it. Just staying in the race. You know, you haven't lost if you haven't stopped. Just sucks. I'm envious of the people who seem to just... You know, I guess I just rolled the genetic lottery and lost. 'Cause I'm so unlucky in life. It seems like nothing just works out for me. And then you have the people that were, like, born into a rich family. They're complete fucking morons. You know the people I'm talking about. And everything just goes their way. They get the great opportunities. They're never getting in trouble. They get everything they want. And it's like, bro... Do I have to, like, buy some DLC or some shit? What the fuck is going on here? Did I miss an update? Why is it so rough for me? And the worst person I know has the best life out of all of my friends. That's the shit that really keeps me up at night, man. That's what gets me.